In the early 16th century, during the reign of Henry VIII, a peculiar profession known as the Groom of the King's Close Stool took its place in the annals of history. Entrusted with the intimate task of overseeing the king's bathroom routine, the groom's primary duty revolved around a portable commode, ensuring it was well stocked with water, towels, and a wash bowl for the king's use. While modern sensibilities may find this job distasteful, in that era it was a position of trust, often awarded to sons of noblemen or esteemed members of the gentry. The groom's role was not confined to mere attendance during royal bathroom breaks. They had the meticulous task of monitoring the king's diet and orchestrating his day around expected bathroom visits, ensuring a seamless execution of royal duties, pun very much intended. As decades rolled on, the grooms evolved into roles akin to personal secretaries to the king, basking in perks such as royal lodgings and the privilege of inheriting the sovereign's old clothes. The pinnacle of this profession's evolution is illuminated during the reign of Mad King George III, who employed 9 grooms throughout his tenure, one of whom, John Stuart, ascended to the esteemed position of Prime Minister of Great Britain. This offbeat profession, rechristened as the Groom of the Stool, carried on until the dawn of the 20th century. It was King Edward VII who, in 1901, decided to bid adieu to this singular facet of royal service, marking the curtain call for one of history's most unconventional occupations. Stepping into the Colosseums of ancient Rome, in a society known for its opulent feasts and unbridled indulgence, the role of a vomit collector emerged as a necessity during the extravagant banquets that marked the Roman social scene. The vomit collector's duty revolved around maintaining a semblance of cleanliness in the banquet halls. As guests overindulged, it was common practice to purge between meals to make room for more delicacies, a task facilitated by the vomit collector. Armed with a bucket and a strong stomach, these unsung janitors of old would clear away the aftermath, ensuring the feasting could continue unabated. Typically, these positions were filled by slaves or the impoverished, offering a stark contrast to the opulent lives of the Roman elite they served. The vomit collector's role exemplifies the lengths to which Roman society went to uphold its decadent lifestyle, a glimpse into the extravagance and excesses that once epitomized the eternal city. Though scarcely acknowledged in historical texts, the vomit collector's job highlights the social disparities and the boundless indulgence that marked ancient Roman banquets. Amid the glittering mosaics and grandiose columns, they performed a task essential for keeping the wheels of extravagance turning, a forgotten cog in the grand machinery of Roman revelry. Fast forward to the early 20th century, when bowling alleys buzzed with excitement, the manual labor of pinsetters was indispensable. The pinsetter job was a blend of simplicity and diligence. As bowlers sent pins scattering, young men or pin boys swiftly reset the pins and returned the balls, keeping the game in smooth motion. Their quick reflexes and sharp eyes were the heartbeat of the game in an era untouched by automation. The landscape changed in 1936 with Gottfried Schmidt's invention of the mechanical pinsetter, heralding the end of manual pin setting. Although a few bowling alleys clung to tradition, the AMF's automated system became the new norm. By the 1960s, automated pinsetter machines dominated, phasing human pinsetters out into a nostalgic memory. Yet, their legacy flickered back to life whenever machines faltered, and human touch was needed to keep the bowls rolling. The bowling pinsetter story is a quaint chapter in history, echoing a time when human agility set the pace in the jubilant alleys, a nostalgic contrast to today's machine-operated era. In a world before the dawn of alarm clocks, the rhythmic cadence of the Knockeruppers' stick against windows was the day's first melody. This quaint profession flourished during the Industrial Revolution in Britain, around the 19th to early 20th centuries, a time when factories required punctual labor and the average worker lacked the means to own a reliable timepiece. The job of a knockerupper was simple yet indispensable. Armed with long sticks, soft hammers, or pea shooters, they roamed the pre-dawn streets, rapping on clients' windows to rouse them from slumber. Their persistent knocks echoed through the stillness, heralding the start of a new day. Primarily, they were the unsung heroes of the working class, ensuring that factory workers, servants, and others embarked on their daily toils on time. Their services were a linchpin for punctuality in an era steered by the hands of industrialization. The advent of affordable alarm clocks in the early 20th century signaled the twilight of the knockerupper profession. As mechanical buzzes replaced the friendly taps on windows, the role of knockeruppers transitioned from a community staple to a nostalgic memory. The narrative of the knockerupper is a whimsical yet poignant reminder of a time when human interaction was integral to the simple act of waking up, a humble profession resonating with the community spirit of bygone days. In the underbelly of Victorian-era London, beneath the bustling life of the city, thrived a profession as murky as the waters they waded through, the Toshers. This obscure livelihood blossomed during the 19th century, a period marked by the stark contrast between the affluent aristocracy and the struggling underclass. The job of a tosher was far from the glamour of high society, yet it was a means of survival. With a lantern in one hand and a stick in the other, toshers delved into the city's sewers, scavenging for lost valuables amidst the muck and mire. Their day's findings often included coins, silver cutlery, or anything of value that found its way into the labyrinthine sewer system from the bustling city above. Toshers were akin to urban treasure hunters, their work shrouded in darkness both literally and figuratively. Operating often at the edge of legality, they navigated a world below the world, their livelihoods dependent on the forgotten or discarded riches of London's populace. The profession carried its share of peril, from the obvious health hazards to the danger of the unknown in the pitch-black tunnels. Yet, the promise of a valuable find, a small fortune amidst the filth, drove them into the depths, day after gloomy day. The story of the Toshers is a stark portrayal of the lengths to which the impoverished went to eke out a living during the Victorian era. It's a gritty chapter in the narrative of a city evolving amidst the stark disparities of the 19th century. Journeying back to the heart of ancient Rome, during the 4th century classical era, emerged the funeral clown or archomimes, performers of a peculiar yet cherished craft. They were the shadows of the departed, donning similar attire, masks resembling the deceased, and mimicking their mannerisms during funeral processions. Rooted in the belief to appease spirits and lighten the mourners' hearts, their antics brought a sliver of amusement amidst the gloom. Their role transcended mere impersonation. They danced, interacted, and even joked with the crowd. A notable account reminisces a clown, mirroring deceased Emperor Vespasian, humorously inquiring about his funeral's cost, reflecting the lighter vein they brought to solemn events. Though a quirky profession, funeral clowns were held in high regard, with the affluent largely availing their services. Some even had the honor of performing at emperors' tombs, showcasing the prestige linked to this role. As time drifted, the tradition faded, but remnants echo in modern practices. Since 1946, a distinctive memorial service in London has seen clowns come together to honor Joseph Grimaldi, revered as the progenitor of modern clowning, forming a vibrant bridge between past and present. In recent times, Europe and the USA have witnessed a revival of themed funerals, including clown-themed ones, subtly hinting at a modern-day embrace of humor and light-heartedness in the solemn rituals of mourning and remembrance. Thanks for tuning in to Brain of History. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, stay informed.